Biangama ya bana na Nzambe, sans définition ni condition. Merci Seigneur, merci. Okati ya butunga na yoki mongongo ekobenga ngai. Nakeko tuna Eli abengi te. Nalali lisusu na yoki mongongo ekobenga ngai. Nakeko tuna Eli abengi te. Nalali makasi na yoki lisusu mongongo ekobenga ngai. Nakeko tuna Elia ayanolie. Wana soki oyoki lisusu mongongo ekobenga yo. Ndima boye lobanga mosali na yo nakoyoka bolamu na yo na bomoi na ngai. Esengo na yo kimia na ngai. Na kati ya boloko kuna nazalaki. Otindi bangelu po babimisa ngai. Moibi na ekulusu azwaki ngolu. Lote na Sodome pe azwaki ngolu. Bisika ya kokufa ngai nazalaki. Okangolinga ye na bengami mosali na yo. Vina ngai moto atakola te. Pona yebi ye yozali na ngai. Héritage akotikela famille de Yesu. Kolona ngai mwana na Nzambe. Nayebaki yango te o Yesu Nzambe na ngai soyo ozali o Yahweh. Nayebaki yango te o Shiloh Yesu Masiya soyo ozali bomona nga moto akabola te. Na yo Yesu mwana na Nzambe. Nazalaki ya kokufa kolobikisi ngai. Opesi nga pema yango na yembeli yo. Sola zalaki koboma ba chrétien. Obengi Nzambe akomi apotre. Mama katioki yango o Yahweh. Nayebaki yango te o Shiloh Nzambe nalola soyo ozali o Yahweh. Nayebaki yango te o Yesu Nzambe na ngai soyo ozali
Hello, good evening everyone again. Welcome again to the Health Chat Show. My name is Claudine SALUMU and I'm the host of this show. I'm always happy and excited to be with you and to be connected with you. And I hope all have been well with you during the whole week. And this is also the True Word Television. You are able to follow us now directly on Facebook, and you can right now go on YouTube and just put True Word Television, and you'll be able to follow us live on YouTube. So we are improving every day. Something new, something exciting is going on. So I just want to invite all of you guys to begin to share this link. And our topic today is going to be very exciting. We're going to be talking about the spirituality and the mental health. And yeah, so it's a very exciting topic. It's very broad. There's a lot of things that is into the spirituality, into the mental health. So more focus is going to be on spirituality, because the one thing that we realize that in our life, we take care of our physical, our strength, we go to the gym, we exercise, we take care of our body, you know, we care about how we look, so, you know, we decorate ourselves, but we always forget the biggest part of our life, which is our spirituality. Like when our spirituality are affected, then our mental well-being also is affected. So they are all kind of interconnected. So I want you guys to share with everyone. And I know somehow, somewhere, you might know somebody that is struggling with, you know, addiction, struggling with any mental health issues. Like we're going to be, you know, tackling here and there and about that subject. You know, this television is all about community, and we are here to share the little knowledge that we have for our community. And we know in our community there are so many people that are suffering, are struggling with mental health. We have so many people who are suffering with addiction. We don't even know how to handle them. Our family don't know how to handle them. So we just want to share the knowledge that can help somebody in the community know how to deal with their loved ones, or may know how to handle themselves. So I always try to find guests that, you know, are knowledgeable, guests who have experience. So today you might be wondering who is the guest of today. So I have an amazing woman in our community, is a well-known, and her expertise is in the community. She does workshops, she does facilitating many meetings, and so and she works more with the people who are addicted, and she works with people who have mental health issues. So I thought I should call her so she can be able to share with us, you know, some wisdom and some advice that can help somebody be able to care for themselves, or maybe care for their loved one who might be affected with addiction or mental health. So I'm not going to take too long. I'm going to invite her to be the one introducing herself. Welcome, Mama Cathie.
Welcome, Mama Claudine. Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me to this platform. Mama Cathie, that's what I like people to call me. As you know, you told me you like calling me Mama Cathie. Of course, I like people to call me Mama Cathie. I work at Mount Carmel Clinic as a community health facilitator. And yeah, I'm the community. I wear too many hats that I don't want to explain every single hat I wear. At the same time, I'm also a pastor. The lead pastor at the Tabernacle of New Covenant. So that's me.
Thank you very much, Mama Cathie.
You're welcome.
Can see she is also a pastor. So you can see she's matching with the spirituality, right? So she deals with the spiritual life of people. So I thought that she would be the right person to come and share her wisdom and tell us, you know, Mama Cathie, I have really a question for you. The reason why I called you here is because so we realize that so many people we do look after ourselves, we do look after our body, our physical, the way we look, we care about our body, but we realize that spiritual aspect has been forgotten in the life of many. Most of people, they like to talk about, you know, me, I'm not religious, all those kind of stuff. And we know that somehow, somewhere, you know, mental health is connected also to spirituality. So, because spirituality is actually who we are. Because every human being, they are spirit. So, you are a spirit, I am a spirit. So, when you say you are a spirit, which means you have somebody who have made you. So, which means we have an image of the superpower who is God who created us. We are all creature. We were all been created, and whoever created us in the give us his spirit. He give us his DNA. So we realize that people most of the time we live here on earth as if we don't know who we are sometimes. The truth, other than that, we have the breath of life that we breathe. We are the spirit. So I'd like to ask our guests to tell us a little bit about spirituality and how that spirituality is connected with us as a human being, and how can we tap into our spiritual connection maybe to be able to deal or face our struggles that we go through everyday life. And because it seems like there is an area sometimes that I feel like people we are failing, because there's a time we feel like we get lost in the middle of who we are, and we found ourselves trying to find a way to cover maybe some pain in the past. We find a way to cover things that are going on in our life. But my understanding is that, you know, there is a supernatural power that is above all of us that we can depend on sometimes. So I would like you to really give us your wisdom, you know, as a pastor, as a community workers, that can help somebody who is following us tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. Spirituality is so broad, and we know a human being is made by the body, the soul, and the spirit.
Correct.
The soul is your heart, is what you think, your mind. And your body is the physical material that we can see, and the spirit is the connectedness between you and
your maker.
Something, your maker. And it depends. In the spirituality is what you believe to. And many people, other people believe in God who created heaven and earth. Other people believe in the nature. Other people believe in... We have too many faith.
Yes.
So the spiritual is what connects us to what we believe, to our faith. And this is the most important piece that most of the time we neglect. So the spirituality is very, very important. It connects us to the most high. As a Christian, you can connect with other gods, God's sun, moon, or...
Just tell us, Pastor Cathie. I'm going to call you Pastor Cathie. Just tell us now. Tell us really, honestly, you know, we cannot deny that we are spirit, you know. I know everyone, they have their faith base, which is okay, which is amazing. And what we are trying to raise here as we are speaking to you is for you to know that you need to be connected with your maker in your everyday life. Sometimes we get lost somewhere. Things, you know, we don't understand what's going on in our life because there is an area of our life that is forgotten. So we just want you, Mama Cathie, just to speak to us. Whoever is following us, we have respect of your faith, but we just want you to know, we don't want anybody to just live like like an animal. An animal that doesn't have a soul, you know. So we want all to live a life that's connected with our spirituality. If you've never been a spiritual person, that is a time, maybe sometimes you may think about, you know, sometimes we grow up, our parents never introduce you to a spiritual life, never connect you to anything, but now you're a grown-up man, you're a grown-up woman, it's a time to do a research. We do a research in so many things, but things that's concerning us, we find that we are really forgetting this. So we just want you, Mama Cathie, tell us deeper about spirituality.
Yeah, spirituality is what makes you live. Is a part of your being connected to a superpower or a God or something you believe who give you the reason of living, who give you the strength of thinking, who give you the strength of making choices, and as something that you look up and then you follow the guidance. You live because of he made some guidance, some, I can call it some law or some...
He give you the purpose of
living or some directive in your life. So that spiritual life is very, very important. You can dress yourself very well. You can take care of your body. But if your spiritual life is not taken care, you will be in trouble. Because as I said, we have body, soul, and spirit. And the soul is how we think, the heart. What we think, those are emotion, the emotion that goes through. And when you go through those emotions, when you go to those thinking, can be positive or negative, you just compare it with that, I say the power, the superpower, well-being, being like God, like any kind of belief that you have. So for me as a pastor, I look at the God Almighty, Jesus Christ, but it's not the only religion on earth. We have too many faiths. We have too many religions. So anybody who connect to that power of the thing that they believe in and walk upon that, everything he does or she does, she look at what is that person when the person look at me, or that superpower person look at me, how does he feel? Am I in connection? Do I talk with him? Do I mingle with him? Do I tell him how I feel? Do I spend time with him? No matter how do you do it, but it's about connection, it's about connectedness, and connectedness is about communication. Is about communication. Is about building a trust relationship. Is all that. That is the spirituality.
Oh, thank you so much, Mama Cathie. So at this point of time, you know, the things that, as Mama Cathie just said, we just want to raise awareness to all of you who are following us. Consider that you are a spirit, because when it comes to mental health, you know, and the spirituality, sometimes there are things that happen in our life. We are human beings. We go through struggles. We go through issues. We go through problems. In one way or another, you can be a Christian, you can be non-Christian. We all go through moments, but we don't handle them the same way. So how do you handle the stresses of life? What is who do you lean to when you are, going through some downfalls? Sometimes people, when things are not going right in their life, we find most of time you rush to go, oh, let me go grab like one bottle of beer, you take your alcohol, you drink. Sometimes I understand people become alcoholic because, somehow, somewhere, they have pain somewhere that they are trying to cover. That pain may come from maybe trauma, or maybe just things that you don't like in life. So sometimes you may be jobless, right? You used to have a job, you don't work anymore, and you feel like, okay, I don't have anything else to do. Let me just go and drink. From what Mama Cathie just says, like, you know, sometimes we need to be able to know that in everything that we have in our life, let us make sure, do you have a spiritual aspect in your life? Do you have a faith foundation? If you don't have one, right now, make sure, seek to connect yourself with your maker. You can never handle life on this earth on your own, standing on your own wisdom, standing on your own knowledge. You're gonna get to the place whereby you hit the dead rock, and at that time it's gonna be hard for you to be able to rise. So that's what we are just trying really to make sure you guys are aware of that. So Mama Cathie, I just want to ask you other question from your own experience, from your own works and the work that you do. What do you think when you see people who have some addiction, right? So how do you usually do and help them? How do you help them help themselves? That's what I would say.
Okay, thank you. There is so many approaches that people can take in regard to mental health, well-being or emotional well-being. So for us, we use no judgmental approach. So we meet people where they are at. It means we don't judge them. As you said in the beginning, stress is a normal stuff that can happen to anybody. Somebody at any time. But the problem is, how do you cope? How do you manage that stress? When the stress is not managed properly, that way it's go to distress. The same with trauma. When it's not spoken, when you don't deal with it,
it's not addressed.
That's what it become a very very deep, and it become PTSD. So how do we do? Most of the time we use a group therapy. We find out that with the group therapy is so amazing, so powerful, because when we discuss, for example, one time I had a group on grief and loss. Grief and loss. Grief and loss. And at that time we talk about we discuss about what is your place of safety. Your place of safety, other people say my place of safety is mosque. Another one said my place of safety is the church. One person said my place of safety is my house. So we look at where is your place of safety. So think a little bit where you are, what you went through. How do you find peace? Because about mental health is about the lack of peace. Lack of peace, the lack of something that happened to you that you couldn't manage it properly. So we do group trauma where we discuss together. Some people come with example and we learn from each other. And the most important thing I find out that people find out, oh, I'm not alone in this journey. I thought I'm myself. I thought I'm the one who went to this rape. I think myself who lost a husband. I thought myself who lost my child. Oh, so you went through also that situation. That's the first piece. When you think that you are not alone in that situation, it gives you hope.
Yes.
And then we say, okay, for those who go to the mosque or those who go to the church, what do you think that is there
for you?
Then the people will say, okay, for me, I will go and read the Bible, the Word of God. Other will read the Quran. Other people will go to the temple and then talk to the leader in the temple. So that is about spirituality. Finding a sense where you can find safety. You can be safe. Find someone where you can discuss with your situation without the person judging you. And as you know, in our community, most of the time, mental health is not spoken. Most people think it's a taboo. When I tell people that I'm stressed or I'm depressed, they will think that I'm weak. That
yes.
So there is the stigma
Around it.
around mental health. So first of all, the person need to feel, to see that he's loved, no matter the situation she's going through or he's going through. He's not judged, or you are drinking, you are addicted because it's your choice. You make that choice, but you don't know really how it started, because there is always a starting point.
Mama Cathie, without interrupting you, so you are really talking something that is really at the depth of my heart. So right now we have people in our community, Mama Cathie, and those people in our community, they may have been struggling with some addiction. They are dealing with some issues, but as you say, they don't want to come out. If there is someone who is out there, whoever is following us, who may have been going through, some issues, some problem, like, what would you advise them? Is it okay for them to be open to say, you know what, this is what I'm going through? Is it okay to accept that you have some kind of mental health problems? Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay. As I said, mental is connected with the spiritual and the mind. So when your mind tell you about self-pity, or you are nobody, you don't deserve it, why are you living? Nobody cares about you, nobody loves you. All those
is coming in your mind,
and
you begin to believe it.
And when you start believing it, and you start behaving according to what you are thinking. So most time people want to find something that they can do to cover that emptiness, that rejection, that self-pity. That's why you see other people, they start with one bottle, tomorrow another bottle, and then it becomes 10 bottles. But the approach we have to use is having, first of all, sympathy, and empathy. Empathy, you put yourself in the shoes of that person. And sympathy, you say, oh, you recognize that the person have a problem, so how can I help? And the approach you use is to ask questions. And what kind of question will you ask? When you ask a question like why, it's just judgmental. You will start to ask the person, how did it happen? What can we do to help you reduce the way you drink? And also the word you use is very, very important. Like when you tell people you are addicted, you have mental health issue. You are putting already the person in a box.
You are judging the person.
You are judging the person. Like the group we do about mental and emotional well-being, we will not say, this is a trauma-informed group. No. We say this is a group where we can share our experience. Come and share your experience and learn from each other and find a way. Find a way how you can cope and find strategy how you can handle difficult situation that arise in your life. You see how we put it in a advocacy way. We don't just say that come, we have a group of how to deal with mental well-being. Nobody will come. They will say, so if I go there, we think that I have mental illness.
No, I'm not going to go there.
So I'm inviting Mama Claudine, everyone who's going to intense stress, because it starts just small thing, and when it's not taken care, that's how it becomes to grow, and you become stressed, and then stress, it becomes a mental illness. It becomes anxiety disorder. It becomes everything or eating disorder, it starts with something. How we can go understand the root, what are the causes, just by communicating, talking in a friendly way, without judgment and with love. You know, I understand what you are going through. Even though I didn't experience it, but I know some people who went through this experience, who got help. Today they're standing.
They're standing.
They're standing. Okay. And then I ask them, like, sorry to say, like with the indigenous people, like, you know, I'm working in a community clinic. The community clinic is we look at the overall well-being. As you are in the field, so we don't come like tell the person, oh, how can I help you, and then just a thermometer.
But I don't like it that way though. Sometimes you know, sometimes in the offices everywhere you go, you'll be like, yeah, how can I help you?
How can I help you?
You know, I know it's just like a kind of a formal language, but sometimes I found it in a funny way. It's like, shut up. You know, like, why are you here? Like in another way.
It means say quickly and leave.
Yeah.
We need to be, as you know, you are in the medical field. It's building the rapport. When you build that rapport, you build the trust that the person will open up and tell you all his situation, what's going on in his or her life, and then you find the resources, and then you go. I thank God. I always tell my people, okay, so what's your faith? What do you believe in? So, because we look also at the spiritual
aspect of them.
Aspect. Maybe this person don't need counseling. Yeah. From counseling, add it up spiritual, and it's so powerful. And I like the approach that us at Mount Carmel use. We always mix the counseling, the spirituality, all goes together, and the connection within the community.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. You are speaking like some of my professors when they are trying to teach us about, you know, how to handle people out there in a community. Yeah. So for you who are following us, as Mama Cathie just said, maybe you are there, you know. Usually before you go, you get to a mental illness, it always starts some red flag in your life. Yeah. You will feel that something is not right. If you are following us, do never ever ignore how you feel. Your feeling matters. Your feeling signals something that is going on. Once you neglect it, that's the way how you feel is going to progress into mental illness. Share with somebody how you feel. There's nothing wrong with that. If you feel like you are depressed, you are probably right. Don't just go to your room, take a corner, go to where, start not talking to people. No. Find somebody you share how you feel. That's why really having a family connection, friend connection, like maybe church connection is so important. For those who are spiritual, for those who goes to church somehow and they connect to the mosque, to whatever your faith is, find somebody that you can, hey, guess what? I have not been feeling well this day. I just kind of having that uneasy feeling. Like, you know, this is how I feel. Maybe that person, because the enemy, I will say, the enemy of your life wants you to be alone.
Yeah, exactly.
When you are alone, the enemy will destroy you. You know what I always say there are two powers that control this world. We are not preaching, but we have to let you know the truth. This is the power of God who created you. Whatever your faith is, you are a creator. You are created in the image of God. And there is also a power of Satan. Satan and the God, they are all two ways. They don't get along. The power of Satan is to rob you peace. That's it. Every time, like for us who are spiritual, when a thing is not going right, we are like, okay, this is the enemy, and the enemy is Satan. Satan is against God, and the God is in my life. So now I have to rise and go touch my God. This is what is going on. You know, that's why we are trying to teach you to spirituality, because there will be a time whereby some people, they don't have no family, right?
Yeah.
You absolutely have no family, you have no friend, no auntie, no uncle. Maybe those uncle and the auntie and the mother are the source of trouble, are the source of your stress. So that's why it is so important that you connect with your spirit, because you know you God, your superpower above everything. He knows you, loves you, and when you connect, you take a quiet time, you know, like to be mindful of who you are and the power that God has over you. You kind of start having a sense of peace. You're going to have to start have a kind of sense of relaxation in the middle of your storm. So that's what we are just trying to let you know. If you are following us, just don't be alone in the corner with all the stress and the struggle or anything that you may be going through. Mama Cathie, I'm going to ask you another thing. When somebody is going through some, like somebody in the family is addicted to something, like when we talk about addiction, it's the bad one. They say sometimes when you are still on 1 beer, 2 beer, 3 beer, maybe you're still okay. There is an addiction whereby if you don't drink, you can't breathe.
Yeah.
You know, at that level, whereby when you're addicted to maybe to drugs, you would rather go on the street and beg, just because you just can't go a day without it.
Yeah.
Imagine you are there, maybe it's your daughter, it's your son, maybe it's your brother, it's your relative closer. What do you think family members and the parent should handle this situation? Because at that time, they are first helpless to see their loved one in that situation. But at the same time themselves, it is not easy to see that. So what advice would you give to any parent or any family members out there who may have somebody a family members who is addicted to something? And how do you advise them? How do they help that person?
Yeah, I would like to, there is addiction related to mental illness. It can be addiction related to mental illness. And there is addiction that someone has used as a mechanism or a strategy to cope. So that is the first thing as a family. If someone in the family is going through that kind of addiction, is really to show the love. Love covers everything. Because when we put them aside and we label them, you are pushing them to continue more and more. Approach the person, your son or your daughter or wherever in the family, and have a time of communication. So, like the addiction which is not related to mental illness, because like something, one person is stressed and they decide that to get free of stress, I have to drink. But you feel yourself, you feel you drink, and then when the beer, the alcohol is gone, then the problem don't go away, the problem come back.
You want to drink again.
You want to drink again. And that is a negative way of coping with anxiety or stress or anything that is bothering you. But in case it happened, then my advice is to continue showing love to the person, continue showing support, and try to find out spiritually. I said pray. Pray all the time. Pray. There are some others. Addiction are very spiritual, can be demonic attack or demonic attack. Other can be mental illness.
Yeah, don't be scared to say demonic attack.
Yeah, demonic attack.
Like any power that something that is not for you is against you.
Against you.
What is against you is not of God. So it's a principle.
Exactly. So show love, Don't reject the person. Don't push the person. Don't. In our country, maybe they attach them with. They tie their feet. They put them in somewhere. For example, you have a child who have a disability. You don't want the child to be seen. You put the child inside the house.
Hide them.
You hide. That's not human.
That's a crime.
So it's a crime. The same when somebody is addicted to going through addiction, the first thing is to show love,
to support them,
to support the person, and secondly, find the resources.
Yes.
When you go to the spiritual realm, you go and pray and destroy. Also find the resources. The resources that can help at the same time combine with prayer.
Yes.
There is other people, what I think also is not really encouraging, that when someone is addicted, automatically they start just thinking about demonic attack, but they don't see that maybe it's related to mental illness. And the person need to seek for help.
Support, yeah.
Like go to resources. We have in Winnipeg, we have a mental health.
We have Addiction Foundation.
Manitoba Addiction Foundation. We have
and also you can go to emergency. When you can go to emergency, they will lead you, they will guide you to the right place to go, because sometimes you need to be somewhere in order to be able to seek help.
Exactly.
You can be to the stage whereby you don't even know yourself, because the truth is you're really sick. You need to be able to be on your feet in order to be able even to go and attend those therapies. So that's why it's so important that you seek for help. Don't neglect how you feel. Just, feel your body, respond to it, go to the emergency. They will lead you, they will guide you to the right place, whereby they will stabilize your condition, and then they will guide you, and they will give you all the advice that you may need in order to get better. So we're going to be going to
I will add something before we move forward. Someone in the family who have addiction, there is a starting point.
Oh yes.
So from us as a family member, let us ask those questions to ourselves. What happened? How did it happen? And also have a time to talk. So tell me, how can I help? What's going on? When you drink, how do you feel? What are the benefits that you gain through drinking? Those are small questions. The person will not shut his thoughts or his mouth up. He will go, oh, this person is interesting to know my condition. He's caring. Let me talk. Oh, you know what? It started, this person or this event happened, and then from this event, I thought that the only way I can cope is drinking. Or say, okay, did you try other method? Did you go deep in your inner man and try to your spiritual life? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in something? And that's how you have to have those tools with you, filled with love and empathy and sympathy.
Wonderful. That's amazing. So before we continue, we're going to acknowledge people who are following us. I'm going to acknowledge Pastor Nadia Yoko. Thank you for following us. We love you. And she made some comments. L'être aimé doit se reconnaître dans ces trois dimensions: un esprit qui vit dans un corps et porte une âme. So that's Pastor Nadia. As we l'a dit, une personne doit aussi reconnaître qu'il a un problème pour trouver la solution. Si tu as mal à la tête, tu dis j'ai mal à la tête, ou apprendre à mettre un mot sur notre mal. Merci beaucoup, Pastor Nadia. She just said, for those who don't speak French, that you're just gonna have to learn to acknowledge your problem and just speak out, address it, say a word to how you feel, because if you stay quiet, nobody's gonna be able to help you. Acknowledge the presence of Papa Lemba Lishar. God bless you. We thank you for following us. The presence of Fatuma Chiza. God bless you. And we also have my co-presenter, Victoria Masio. You are there. Thank you for following us. I can see my co-worker, Leah. Thank you for following us. Pastor Teo Mutumwa. As a pastor and a counselor, I sometimes refer people to medical checkup instead of searching for spiritual roots. Yes, medical checkups are so important. Yearly they have to do medical checkups, but what is more important is what we are trying to say here, Pastor Theo, is that mental health usually is also connected to spiritual health. So we don't want to leave the spiritual health behind as we are helping people, because there are so many type of pain. There's, you know, there is emotional pain, there's psychological pain, there's spiritual pain, there's physical pain. So all those 4 aspects of our life need to be addressed, need to be looked at. So yeah, it's good to look at our physical aspect, emotional aspect, and the spiritual aspect. That's why we are focusing here. The spiritual aspect of people's life is more forgotten. We care about our physics, we care about our body, but the spiritual aspect is forgotten. And most of the time when the spiritual aspect is forgotten, people tempt to try to fill the emptiness inside them by other things, while they can just sometimes just reconnect and they find that sense of purpose of life, which will help them say, hey, I have kids to live for, I have my uncle, my auntie to live for. But you will realize those people who are really into too much alcohol, too much drugs, they don't feel like they have any reason to live. That's why even for them going to prison for the sake of beating somebody under influence of drugs, like they don't know why they did them. It's just because the spiritual aspect of their life is totally disconnected. So when the spiritual aspect of your life is disconnected, you can easily act like an animal. You won't even know you are acting that way. So that's why we want people to really be able to remember that they are spirit, and to always be connected with their spirit. Even a problem may come, may arise, take a break, be mindful that you are a creature. You were created in God's image. God still loves you despite all whatever that is happening. Then yeah, they all work together. Emotional, physical, spiritual, social. They are all 4 corners in our life that all need to be satisfied. Nothing needs to be remaining behind. So we're going to take a quick break of 1 to 2 minutes, and then we'll be right back. So please don't go away. We are still talking, okay? Thank you. See you in a short second.
Dunia inaongea eti hautafaulu, wanaongea maneno ni kama ni wao walioiumba dunia. Sasa mimi nina swali, ni nani mmoja wao aliyekuwa mshauri wakati Mungu alikuwa na kuumba wewe? Kama kuna mmoja, manake ni yule anaweza kubadilisha yale Mungu ameahidi maishani mwako. Lakini kama hamuna, basi mnyamaze kimya, mnamaliza pumzi, amutabadilisha yale amesema Mungu.
Safi Bwana, moyo wako kuabudu Bwana, moyo uliopondeka oh Bwana, moyo ulio tayari Bwana. Bwana, ninakuomba usinitupe mbali nawe. Bwana, unitakase, ujaze moyo wangu furaha. Bwana.
Thank you so much for hanging in. As we say, our objective, we just really want to make sure people in our community, they know and they understand that, you know, spirituality is so important for our life. You know, we cannot just ignore it, and you know, it's our point of connection. It's where we have a sense of purpose. It's where we have a sense of being. So doesn't matter our problem, our situation, our struggle, our ups and downs, stresses, whatever it is so important that we don't seek only emotional support. We don't only seek physical support. We don't only seek social support. We need to be able to seek spiritual support.
Exactly.
So we are calling you to connect with spirituality.
Exactly.
If you don't have one, you come and they ask you, I'll tell you my secret of my spirituality. You know, so and that's how I live. I can only give you what I have. So like, you don't have, like, make sure that those four corners of your life have to be met together. If you think you don't have no spiritual life because you don't want to be called religious, you know what, you should be kidding yourself. The truth is, you are a spirit. You have to find your creation to be connected with it. So Mama Cathie, we all know, we all learn in the history about the Aboriginal, the First Nation, the indigenous people. They used to be so big into spirituality. They apparently, it seems like spirituality was really at the roots of the Aboriginal people, whereby to them they describe spirituality is the connection with the natures, you know. So the spirituality, it depends on how do you define the spirituality, but you just can't go without spirituality. You are not an animal, you are a human being. You have to be able to be connected with your maker. It is so important. Can you tell us a little bit about Aboriginal spirituality and how important is that to their well-being?
Yeah, indigenous people were very, very spiritual. Their spirituality was so strong before the colonization. And when the settlers came, they asked them to stop all those kind of spirituality because they thought that they are being a salvage, barbar,
stupid, whatever they call them.
And so, and at that time there were not a lot. There were practically not this issue of addiction and mental.
No, that's what I heard. They never have no addiction. They never have no alcoholic. They were just amazing human beings.
What we are seeing today on the street, on the indigenous community, is the result. It's a
trauma.
Intergeneration trauma. Intergeneration trauma. It means from the event they went through from residential school and taking the children and put them in a residential school, the 6 scope. I don't know if you know about the 6 scope. And all the kids the children who didn't have any parental role model. So all the physical abuse they went through, emotional abuse, everything led to what we are seeing today, the addiction to cover the pain. And so it's sad, but that's history. When in 2009, I was invited in International Women's Day in Kenora.
Wow.
Where I talk in front of a lot of women, and the majority were Aboriginal people. And then I was advocating on rape as a weapon of war in the Democratic Republic of Congo in the eastern part. And they told me, how come those women there, how do they survive? How do they, where do they get the strength? I said, The strength comes from because they have a strong belief,
connection,
a
faith.
connection and faith in God. So no matter what they go through, they go back
To the
to the spirituality root. They go back to God and plead
for refugees,
for
yes,
refuge,
for powers,
for
for
power,
strength.
for strength.
Yes.
And I told them there is you know what, you can change your story.
Oh yes.
You can change how people portray you, how people view you. This younger generation, you can learn. Of course, you learn from the past. You heard the story. Now my question, and so what? Are you continuing to do what the parents are doing because it happened?
Yeah. No.
So why not go back to your roots and seek in the spirituality realm? What is that's missing? That emptiness you are feeling, and working in the north end, where the community, a large number living in the north end, the inner city, the majority are indigenous. I came to learn a lot, and going through the school at the Red River College, I was in the indigenous department, so I learned about the Aboriginal history. In the beginning, before the settler, they were very strong, strong roots in spirituality. They have the seven teaching. They believe in the respect, the humility, the seven teaching. Okay, I'm not teaching about that today, but they believe on those power. So today, when they are dealing with addiction, what they do, a lot of those organizations, indigenous organizations, they take the client first of all to the center where they do the disintoxication. After that, they take them to the elder who take them to the spirituality where they do a cleansing. For us, as I'm a Christian, I'm cleansed by the blood of Jesus. But the spirituality, they have what they call the sweat lodge.
Yes.
They put a lot of stone and wood, and they put fire, and people go there
and they recover. They reconnect with their maker.
On dit ils transpirent.
Yes.
They sweat. That's why they call it sweat lodge. They sweat a lot, and for them they say that is cleansing.
Yes.
They are cleansing that spirit of addiction. They are cleansing against those bad spirits that's leading them to become what they are. So if they do that, why not? Other people can go refer to the spirituality, the spirituality root, and we Christian, we go back also to our root, which is the Word of God, where we go deep and read and
you find the strength.
You find the strength and get the Word and take it in possession and wear it and drink it and eat it and give you and it renew your mind, because mental is about renewing the mind, because the most important thing is your mind.
Yeah, you have an information that is in your mind, and that information you believe it, and if you don't see any way out, you break.
So they go there in the sweat lodge. They teach them the spirituality. They teach them the seven teaching, the ego, all those kind of stuff, and they tell them how they were living before, the love, the care. So to get back again to the root. So I will encourage one person, don't be ashamed about the situation you are going through. Stress or depression or anxiety can start with small things. You are anxious, maybe anxious because you have an interview, anxious because you are preparing to a wedding. You are preparing a wedding, and you look at the budget. You start shaking.
Anxious, maybe
everything.
You don't have no partner for life.
No partner for life. You are single. So anxiety, all those, it can start small.
Yeah.
But when you have the great support, you have your spiritual life rooted on your feet, and you know that you are not alone. There is the supernatural power that will help you to overcome that anxiety. But if you are not, you keep it by yourself, it grows,
and then you will die by yourself.
And then it will tie you, and then to get out from there, it becomes very difficult. So go back to your root. You can't dissociate mind and spirituality. Never. You can't dissociate mental well-being and spiritual well-being.
No.
They goes together. That's why the health OMS, the Santé Mondiale, whatever, it's defined mental health. What is the meaning of health? Health is about the overall well-being of social, emotional, spiritual,
and the emotional
and physical. So
and you cannot be physically healthy without being mentally healthy.
exactly.
Yeah, and so it is, that's so powerful.
Yeah, very powerful. So when indigenous people are thinking to go back to the spirituality,
that's
so anybody, the only way, the powerful way you can get resources, you can go to the hospital to be in the hospital. Most of the time they will just diagnose.
They diagnose you.
There's
no medication.
They put you in a label. They will give you medication that will calm you down, but will free you up completely. It's just spiritually.
Okay.
It's only spiritually that you can be free of addiction.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mama Cathie, for your inputs. Really, you really have the you should just be, you just need the diploma. You have got all the material in hand. Yeah, so basically, really, if I can speak to you guys who are following us, whenever you have any mental illness or you have addiction, I just want to let you know that the medical system do not have no cure for addiction, for mental illness, but we can only have something to prevent things from happening. So, and also everything is going to be all about you. We can lead you, we can guide you, but you're going to have to be the one come to the point whereby you decide, you say, this is what I want to do. So that's the reason why we are giving you some tips. One of the things that is so important, and like personally I'm giving you this is because it has helped me in the past. Once you make sure in all the self-care, that package that you do or you think, make sure the spirituality is not lacking. You cannot deny it. You may decide to deny it, but it's not going to change the fact. You will never forget, you never miss that the spirituality is forgotten. Even for those who goes for some group therapies, somehow, somewhere, the spirituality comes back whereby you are required to connect with your maker. It is so important. Sometimes people, they would ask me, Mama Cathie, I went through a lot in my life, a lot. And also sometimes it's an attitude. What attitude are you having to the things that you are going through? My attitude, from all the wars that I went through, from all the people I saw dying, from all the traumas that I went through, my attitude is, God, you have allowed me to live. You have a purpose for my life.
Exactly.
I live, I thank God. And even though when something happened to me, I say, God, you did not take my life when guns was behind me. I am not afraid of these things. I know you're still going to help me. That's what we call spirituality. When you have a point of contact that we call supernatural power. When I am anxious, I come back to my bed, I say, God, I am so anxious about how this test is going to be. But God, I know you are going to be able to help me out. You're going to give me knowledge and the wisdom to be able to answer. That's what we call spirituality. Yeah. So it's so important that you make sure in your downfalls, in your trouble, yes, you can call friends, but maybe those friends also, they are struggling too as you are struggling. Learn how to reconnect with your maker. Reconnect with your maker. It will help you. If it won't help you, it won't make your situation worse either. So this is all what we had for you today. So we hope you have learned something. Just remember, you you are a spiritual being, make sure in all your self-care that you are planning, add the spirituality. Maybe your parents may never have introduced you to spirituality. You are an adult now. You can do a Google, you can research, you can find which spiritual aspect you want to connect it. Do you want to be a Hindu? Do you want to be a Muslim? Do you want to be whatever a Christian, whatever the denomination? Like me, if I have to share with you, I will tell you. My spiritual aspect is based on Jesus, who died on the cross for me so that I can have life. Whenever I feel like something is taking my peace away, I say, hey, Jesus, I know you paid the cross on you paid the price on the cross for me. Help me go through these things. That's how I connect with my spirit. You can also do your own research and find your own spiritual life. So that's all I have for you today. I'm going to ask my guest to have the last word for our viewers.
Yeah, I'm so delighted to be here. Mental health is something real, something that people are tending to neglect. People don't want to talk about that. They feel ashamed about that. People are stigmatized about people going through those mental health issues. But we need to know that they are human beings. They are cared by God. Even also as a pastor, the Bible says that the body, the wicked part of the body should be helped by the strong one.
Oh yes, yes,
so
yes,
it means
yes.
when you think that you are strong, take care of the one who think is
weak. Yeah.
Because the long suffering, anybody at any time can confront it. But remember, the only spirituality who I know that's me, Mama Cathie, who can leave you free, can let you be free, and free indeed.
I know him.
Jesus
it's
Christ.
Jesus alone.
So accept him as your personal Lord and Savior, and try Jesus. You see, if you will be the same again, you will never be the same again. You will be changed. You will change, and all things are possible with him. Love you. God bless you.
That's so true. You have nothing to gain, you have nothing to lose by having Jesus in your life. So see you again next week. I'm going to continue to encourage you to watch the True Way Television. You can follow us directly on YouTube now. You can just go to True Way Television and just follow all the programs that have been going on. So take care of yourself. Again, remember, connect with your spiritual being, your supernatural power. Then you have nothing to lose. In fact, you'll be glad you did. So see you again next week. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Uniumbie moyo safi Bwana, moyo wako kuabudu Bwana, moyo uliopondeka Bwana, moyo ulio tayari Bwana, moyo wa kukutukuza Bwana, moyo ulio tayari heri wenye moyo safi Bwana, ninakuomba usinitupe mbali nawe. Bwana, unitakase ujaze moyo wangu furaha. Bwana unikumbuke, kilio changu, huzuni yangu, machozi yangu naileta kwako. Rehema zako zinijaze moyo wangu Bwana. Kilio changu, huzuni yangu, machozi yangu naileta kwako. Rehema zako zinijaze moyo wangu Bwana. Kilio changu, maisha yangu, matatizo yangu naileta kwako. Rehema zako moyo wangu. Mungu nipe moyo wa kutulia, nijapopata majaribu kadhaa. Moyo wa maombi, sio wa kuzuba. Moyo wa kukesha, wala si wa kulala. Mungu nipe moyo wa kutulia, nijapopata majaribu kadhaa. Moyo wa maombi, sio wa kuzuba. Moyo wa kukesha, wala si wa kulala. Niamkapo asubuhi mapema, nione siku njema toka kwa Bwana. Giza ya usiku iondoke moyoni. Moyo wangu, nafsi yangu sifu Bwana. Matatizo ya maisha yanitoke moyoni. Moyo wangu, nafsi yangu sifuni Bwana, Bwana.
Nipe moyo, moyo safi, ili nikuone Mungu.
Moyo safi, wa upendo, wa kushuka mbele zako. Nipe moyo safi, ili nikuone Mungu. Moyo safi, wa upendo, wa kushuka mbele zako. Nipe moyo safi, ili nikuone Mungu. Moyo safi, wa upendo, wa kushuka mbele zako. Nipe moyo safi, ili nikuone Mungu. Moyo safi, wa upendo, wa kushuka mbele zako.
hata yote yabadilike.
Shalom, Bwana Yesu asifiwe, na wasalimu wote katika jina la Yesu. Naitwa Neema Mdosa, ni mwimbaji wa nyimbo za Injili, nakaa Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. Na kukaribisha sana kutazama nyimbo zangu na neno la Mungu na vitu vingi vitakavyokutia nguvu kwenye TV yetu, Tree World TV ambayo iko hapa Canada, na naamini ya kwamba utabarikiwa. Waalike ndugu zako, waalike marafiki zako kila siku kutazama TV yetu. Nawapenda.
Ukuhitaji ushauri wa mtu ili uniinue, saini yako naweka mwenyewe, huhitaji mshauri.
Keep watching the Tree World TV.
You are watching the True Word Television, spreading the true word of salvation.